Hello, everyone, and we have a special guest with us now, Mr. SITARAMAN. And you'd be glad to know कि कोविड के 2 सालों में इन्होंने अपनी कंपनी को 40,000 पिन कोड्स तक पहुंचाया है. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी लॉन्ग जर्नी इन अ वेरी शॉर्ट टाइम. सो वुड लाइक टू नो मोर अबाउट इट and let's hear more from Mr. Sitaram. Hello, sir.
Hi. So I'm Sitaram. I head the operations at Haysaa. So when we started our journey in 2020, earlier we were doing BTL activities for quite some time for large corporates, but we changed our methodology of working and shifted to what we are today in 2020 and changed our name to Haysaa Enterprises. So our concept is, our tagline is connecting Bharat digitally. So when I mention phygital, it means through a physical presence, like a village level entrepreneur or an influencer. Through our Haysaa's digital platform, he connects products and services to all the rural folks around. So this is the concept with which we started. So we practically in our system we have 4 verticals which we talk about. One is the fintech, where we provide all kind of financial enable all kind of financial transactions through the VLE or whom in our system we call the Haysaati to the rural folk. So these transactions, the financial enablement includes any kind of money transfer, Aadhaar enabled payment system, all kinds of recharges, insurances and some sorts of loans including crop loans are available through our platform. Then we have an agri vertical, wherein which we do both input and output. Input in the sense right from soil testing to fertilizer, pesticide, seeds, whatever is required for a farmer, to buying their output. This is what we do in the agri-tech system. Similarly, we have a products where we are working with some large corporates to sell their products through our system, as well as we have our own range of FMCG products under the brand name Suhas. Then we have a services vertical, wherein which we provide different kind of services. One example is the BTL, the activity which we did for large corporate like Amway, for their CSR we have done distribution of COVID kits in about to about 10,000 people in 3 gram panchayats in Telangana. Similarly, we are doing activities for, we did activities for Wipro, we did activities for PNG, wherein which they wanted a customer survey or a free sampling. So these are all part of the service. Then we did for some agri companies like Husqvarna, which is one of the largest tiller companies in the world. For them also we did a market enablement activity. So these are all the activities which fall under our portfolio of product, which we can call. And currently, when we started our organization, we were basically present in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Now we are slowly growing to other parts of the country. We are there in Orissa, we are there in Karnataka, some parts of bordering Jharkhand, some parts of bordering Maharashtra. And slowly from zero, we have come to 40,000 pin codes where we are available today. And we have 40,000 Haysaatis working with us, which is our very big field force for us. And apart from that, we also have our own field staff, about 200 of them working pan-India. So these are the guys who actually identify a Haysaati and bring him into the system. So that's a little bit of Haysaa what we do.
How do you find the Haysaati, the field officers who are working in the field? How do they identify that he or she is the right person?
Yeah. So see, when we have different type of personas which we have for identifying different types of personas for Haysaatis, the identification is usually done by our field officer, who is a native of that particular district. So what happens is he knows who is the influencer in that village. It could be a youth, reverse migrated youth. From the cities who have after pandemic come back to villages, or there are farmers who are you can say who are in touch with the world, and they are progressive farmers whom we can call. They can be one of our Haysaati. Then self-help group women. These are the women who are doing very good now. They are all self-help. They are all some of the Haysaatis. Then something could be auto wala who will be transferring the people from a small this to other. Yeah, so he could be also Haysaati because he has a connect with the people. So this is how we identify the Haysaas and then bring him into the system. We also have other type of Haysaas who are kirana store people, or there are some people like a Xerox shop, photocopy shop, where typically they do all this small type of transaction. These kind of all fall under our Haysaas. So the identification is done by field officer. So we have a field officer in districts, then we have a zonal manager for a couple of districts, then we have a state head. So that's how we work.
So how difficult was it initially? How challenging was it to reach out to the villagers, and how was the initial response of people?
Yeah. See, so I couldn't say one thing. The challenge was huge because one is identification of the field officers for ourselves, and the kind of the product portfolio which we carry is very difficult for a field officer to percolate it down level. So we had a lot of challenges in identifying the field officers, subsequently the Haysaas. But yes, we had a robust model which and our application is also a robust one, which is we are slowly improvising on a day-to-day basis. And this has helped us a lot, where the local field officers were the guys who could be able to identify the Haysaas because of their local presence, and that has helped us a lot in increasing our numbers. And as we increased in geographies, our numbers have started increasing also.
As a transformation, as a support to the villagers, as in, because all these services is of course available in the cities, easily available, but then deep down there was always a need. So how is the significance of response from the villagers side?
Yeah, so I can say one thing. See, thanks to the penetration of internet in India, now the usage of smartphone is there with most of the people, but everybody is not tech savvy. So typically we identify people who are available in the villages who can do a little bit on the smartphone, and our application runs through a normal smartphone, and where we don't require any qualification to run the application. It's a basic. If a guy knows how to use a WhatsApp, he can as well work with us. So this has helped us a lot in penetrating, because now the internet availability, the bandwidths have increased everywhere. So the ease of using the application has become now very fast.
How do you see events like Odisha Startup Carnival and these kind of ecosystem development events or investors meet important and influential in the journey of the startups?
See, when we started, it was the same place like we started at T-Hub, where we also initially had some mentoring from people and all. Now today we have come to a stage, we have matured in our model slightly, and today a lot of people have started working with us. So in our entire thing, when we are providing these kind of services, we are also tied up with about 75 plus brands, means large companies which are working with us. They are on the one side of the platform, and Haysaa is on the other side, and Haysaa is connected to his villagers. So in this whole journey, what has happened is a lot of new people have started coming to us, talking to us, wherein which we are also working with startups. Like for example, in soil testing, we are working with a startup who also have started, and then slowly we are working together. Now, the reason we are here today at this Odisha startup is we also want to work with other startups who are there in the agri space or the space where we are
That
working.
is what I was about to ask. Have you got any to be partner or hey Sathi
Yes.
from this segment?
See, Odisha, to be very honest, we are already present here. We have an office, and we have about close to approximately 3,000 Haysaas in Odisha at this point. But we are not there in the entire state. We are there in certain pockets. So, but what we are looking at this event is not for Haysaas. We are looking at startups who require some sort of a mentoring, who require market linkage and go-to-market strategy, and if it's a small investment, we can also look at it. So, but mostly it is on mentoring and go-to-market linkage, and hand-holding them and working together. That is what we are looking at.
What would you suggest to the startups, like whoever are starting or whoever you have met? If we talk in basic, anything that you would like to suggest the startups you met today?
See, one point I would definitely say is, the idea which they have and its application in the real world is one thing which these guys have to test out. And he may be confident, but practically applying it to the worldly requirement is one thing which they should figure out. And second thing is, they should never get dissatisfied ki as nothing is happening with me. Definitely things will happen. The Indian ecosystem, especially the startup ecosystem, has evolved a lot. You can see so many unicorns in this country itself. I think we have crossed 100 now, and it's going on increasing. And governments are also trying to encourage the startups, and a lot of angel investors have started coming and talking to startups. So there is a lot of future for them. Only thing is, whatever you do, it should be something hatke. It cannot be something which is just like everybody has it and you are doing it, then there's no point in
doing it. Definitely, one should try to add some uniqueness. That should be maybe problem solving, or at least adding some value to the.
One point I can say, our country itself is such a big market that you need not see anywhere else. This itself is so huge. So even if you are an agri startup and you are able to do some value add in some space of agri, you have a huge potential of 130 crores people who are relying on you for anything which you can think is a different thing or doing good for the society.
Definitely. Anything you would like to add? Any final message for the youth of Orissa?
Yeah, I would only say one thing. See, when our founder, Mr. Vamshi Udayagiri, started this along with Hema Nandiraju, they have struggled a lot. And today we are all talking about, the achievements of Haysaa. But the struggles of Vamshi and Hema are something which I think the guy should understand that that's how a startup founder is. And he is the fellow who has struggled, and he is the fellow who is going to get the glory. And that is what is the most satisfying thing of getting the glory and fame in this world, so that we have been invited here to speak. So, and I hope that all the startups who have come here should also become like us, and they should go and start mentoring other startups. That's how this change should go on.
Property Brand Startup Stories, we are also trying to contribute to the ecosystem. Talking to different startups and bringing in their success and failure stories, I would say, the experiences. So how do you see this?
Definitely these kind of events, or you can say a workshop model, will help the startups in one way. Is they will be able to understand what it is outside their you can say OHub छोड़ने के बाहर में क्या होता है. This is something which they will have to experience it to understand. So this will, and I won't say with this event they will get 100% experiences, but they'll get some real-time experience when they talk to other startups, when they talk to investors, when they talk to mentors. It will actually give them more clarity on their thought process. कि हमको आगे what are the steps we should take to make ourselves success. And somebody's failure, if they learn something out of it, it is definitely a point where when he will get some new idea to make his startup successful. And with the kind of ecosystem around, and with the kind of investors, and with the kind of support the government is, I think today for anybody an entrepreneurial journey is no longer a dream. This much I can say.
Definitely. Thank you for your time. And it was nice talking to you. I hope the audience got the right message, on the terms of execution. Thank you. Thanks a lot.